Most first-time homebuyers think the mortgage process is really confusing. The truth is, it's just being explained to you in the wrong way. I'm here to break it down and make it simple for you. I'm gonna give you the process that I wish I knew when I bought my first home. All right, let's get into it. Here's the real reason why people feel lost when they go to buy their first home. Everyone's throwing numbers at you. You've got price, you've got down payment, you've got PMI, you've got this, you've got that. Your dad's advice, your Zillow's advice, your realtors, your best friend's brother's advice. You've got everybody throwing all this stuff at you, but what really matters? A lot of lenders are gonna talk to you in all these fancy terms and acronyms that you're probably not really gonna understand, or you're gonna have to Google. The realtor's just gonna tell you, hey, let's just wait and we'll figure that out later. I want you to slow down and let's figure out the framework first. To start off, there's 3 things you need. The first thing you need is to figure out what your comfortable monthly payment is. Second, you need to figure out what is your cash position. So do you have enough cash on hand right now? What's in your savings? And what do you need to afford that monthly payment that you're looking at? 3, once we know those numbers, what's a realistic timeline that you really want to move in? The shorter that timeline is, it's important that you already have everything planned out. So those are the first 3 things I want you to dive into. Have them written down, have a great idea about them, because that's going to make the next step easier. So let's talk about payment, right? Payment's always first, because you need to be able to comfortably afford the payment you're getting into. People say date the rate, buy the house. I understand it. Rates do go up and down, but the truth is nobody can predict the market. So you need to be able to be comfortable with the payment you're getting into for as long as it takes for rates to come down. When I'm working with my buyers, I'm looking for a comfortable price range for them, depending on their goals. Some people love to travel, and if you're going to spend a lot of money on travel, you probably don't need a very big house, right? If you work from home or you have a lot of kids, that is where you're doing enough things in your home. It's probably worth it to you to put a little more down and pay a little bigger monthly payment, because that's where you spend all of your time. That's why this price ranges to what you're comfortable with and what you need for you and your family. So once we know that payment, then you start looking at price. See, most people look at the other way around. This is the house I want. How do I afford the monthly payment? Reversing this makes you better than 80% of buyers, because you know this one shift can take away 80% of your stress in the home buying process. All right, so now cash on hand. You don't need 20%. There's PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, that you will have if you don't have 20%. It's not the end of the world, because if we're looking at that payment that you can afford and PMI fits that bill, that's okay. And you can get into the house faster, because 20% down, especially here in California, is a lot to ask. Almost nobody puts 20% down on their first home. There's plenty of programs out there to help you with the down payments, give you financial assistance if you need it, but you can get into that home for 3 to 5% being a first-time home buyer. So when you're looking at cash on hand, there's extra things that go into buying that home. So you need to know that it's not just about your down payment. You also have to worry about cash to close. Those are things like title, appraisals, credit reports, other things that you can't just wrap into the loan. You need to pay for those up front in the home buying process as well. Now, I've gone over this with a ton of different buyers, and I can with you too. I'd be happy to send you a free video breaking down your situation, what your monthly payment would look like in numbers. Reach out to me in the description below, and I'd be happy to take a look for you. The good news is, when you see this number clearly, down payment plus closing costs is a lot more achievable than you think. Now you get clarity on your timeline. Knowing your monthly payment goals, knowing how much down payment you have, we can get really clear on what this looks like and how long this would take for you to achieve. Maybe you don't have all the down payment yet, but we can create a goal to get you there, and it's probably a lot more achievable than you think. When you're looking at this, you have to ask the right questions. How's your credit score? How much are you saving each month? With your comfortable monthly payment, is it going to afford you the house you're looking for? Taking all that in and realizing, okay, do I have to wait to maybe repair some of these things? Taking all this in and seeing, okay, do I need to repair my credit before I get this loan? Do I need to bump my monthly income up to afford the house I actually want? My goal for you when I interview you is to figure out not just the questions of can you afford this, but how can you afford this? Maybe it's not right now, but maybe it's next year. The home buying process can be intimidating, but if you know your numbers, you can have a clear plan of action to get you there. After After we've asked all those questions, we can break down your actual loan scenario and figure out what are the home prices in your area that you can afford. If we play around with these numbers, what happens? Are you more comfortable? Do you maybe need more cash? The one thing I like about the loan buying process is it's not a one size fits all. There's 10 different ways to get you to the same loan, and we just have to structure it correctly. After we break down your loan scenario, this is usually when most of my clients tell me that this is where everything starts to make sense. It's simpler than they thought. It's not as expensive as they thought. And I hope you guys are seeing that too. Now, I do want to make sure that you guys know there are creative ways to get there. Just because you don't have the full down payment yet, or just because you feel like you need a bigger home than what you can afford, you need to talk to a professional, because there are creative pathways and we ask the right questions that you might not know about. And so when something feels so out of reach and that you feel like you just can't quite make it, check with me, because there might be a special way that we can qualify you for that home that you didn't even know was possible. We have all kinds of tools we can talk about. We have seller credits, we have FHA loans, we have 2-1 buy downs. There's first-time home buyer programs in almost every state and county. It's not that you need a miracle to get into this house. You just need to work with somebody who's asking you the right questions. So when you're looking at getting pre-approved, it's not just a PDF, it's a real conversation. You need to sit down with somebody, have a conversation about your scenario, because everybody's so different and everybody's scenario is so different. Now, I recommend when you talk to your lender, ask them which real estate agents they know, because working with an agent and a lender who have a great relationship is so important to the home buying process, because they can work together smoothly, especially when the real estate agent's the one showing you all the houses, but the lender is the one approving you for those houses. You want them to be able to be a cohesive unit where they can talk to each other, explain maybe the scenarios and the different prices up and down, and really build your plan together. And if you need a great real estate agent in California, reach out to me. I'd be happy to introduce you to one. So now, once you understand the payment you want, the cash you need, and the plan that's going to get you there, shopping for a house becomes so much less stressful and actually enjoyable, because you can buy with confidence. Now, once you find the right home, you go under contract, and there's 6 steps to go through that process. First, you submit an offer, then it gets accepted. Then you get an appraisal so you can figure out if the home is actually worth what you're buying it for. Then your loan goes into underwriting, which is just a fancy way of saying whoever you're getting the loan from needs to look at all of your information, bank statements, different things like that your lender should have gotten earlier, so that way they can look at everything and make sure you can actually afford the loan that they're going to give you. Then you're cleared to close. You have to wait a couple days, and then you'll be getting your keys. And just like that, you're done with the home buying process. It doesn't happen in just a day, but this is a big decision, so you want to make sure that you're taking the time to buy with confidence. Most first-time home buyers aren't confused. They're just not being taught in a clear way what they need. Hopefully with this simple version, everything changes. The good news is you're not behind, you're not unprepared. You just need a roadmap, and get in touch with somebody sooner rather than later so you can build that plan. If you want your personalized breakdown, reach out to me directly. I would love to break it down for you step by step.